Hello there. Today we're going to have a go at this Darth Maul guy from couple of the Star Wars movies. We're going to transfer it onto this nice piece of wood. It's 16x20, so it's a nice size. This is the way I do it. Some people like to spray this and glue it straight to the wood. Some put the painter's tape underneath and then stick it down. I've tried this twice with a couple of samples and it's just not for me. It's just not happening. So I like to put a bit of tape on the side. All that's going to do is hold that in place. Check your wood first. I mean, I've got two holes here. Mine's actually on the other side of my drawing, so I'll show you in a minute when I spin it over. Check out for your big knots. Especially if you're doing portraits, you don't want a couple of these right in the forehead. As it is today, we just get away with it. The biggest one is going to be over here, where it's going to be painted black, so it don't matter. So you've got your image to size. Just throw yourself some carbon paper underneath, lay that down, and you're good to go. And start drawing around. You don't need a pencil. I've drawn around with a screwdriver before. Anything could do. Once it's drawn around, we'll be good to go. Like I say, I've done this earlier, and this is the one I've done. So this is now ready to go to route out. Notice a big knot here. That doesn't matter because that's going to all be black. So that's cool. There's a couple of small one here and a small one over here, but what can you do? So we'll stick with it. There is a lot of black on this. The original character's in black and red. So all this white you would see, that would be red at the end. But if you're going to paint it all black and red, I think it's going to take away the image of the wood. So I'm going to leave mine like wood and we'll see what it's like. So okay, we're good to go. Let's go down to the workshop and crack on. Okay, so we're all set up now. What I use for this project, and I actually think they're fantastic, I will only ever use these two bits here. I don't know if you can see them. Because obviously you've got a lot of small pieces that are going to take some getting round, especially these little bits around here. Now these, I purchased these off eBay. They're absolutely fantastic. I love them. And all you put in is CNC bits. And for £5, I think I got about 20 of these. And they are absolutely brilliant. Very pointed. Cool stuff. Because the shaft is so small, you'll require a collet, which is one of those. And all you do is slot that in there and slot that into your router and you're good to go. We all know how to put them inside, so without further ado, let's crack on. Right, so we've got our little burr profile bit in there. Should we crack on? I'm going to do a little bit for you because the noise is going to be terrible, and you've seen people do these before. I don't believe in fast forwarding everything, so I'll just do a little section. I'll switch off, finish it all, and then we'll come back and throw some paint on it. So put your earplugs in if you want to. Okay, told you it was noisy. And that's all we have to do really. So we've took that one section out and we're just going to go over the whole lot. Personally myself, I think that might just be a little bit too deep. So I'll bring it up slightly. But it's a fantastic piece of CNC bits. Brilliant for that. And I'm quite happy to do the full thing like that. So I'll crack on and we'll come back at the end when it's done. You get the general idea, don't you? Okay, we've done that now. That's all nicely finished. Been sanded down. It's ready for painting. I'm sorry I didn't show you more with the router work, but it just makes such a noise. And you've seen them all before, you know how to do it. So yeah, we're going to throw some black paint on there now. With this kind of wood, I've used it before, and I know it's okay, but certain woods, you'll get what they call paint bleed. And it's because you've cut into it, and the paint will bleed into the wood. So spray yourself some sealant, sanding sealer on first, and then put your paint on. But I've used this before, and I know it's okay. So let's go and get some paint on, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, let's go and get this bad boy painted. I want to go for satin black wood and metal paint. I use this a lot in all my projects, and I've never had any issues with it. Now don't be frightened to put it on. Get into all them crannies, and basically all we're going to do is paint covering. These are going to be your worst bits, where you've got these little pieces cut out, because you'll see, you think you've got it all, then as it dries out, you'll show the white bits. So touch it up, or what I do is get a black felt tip, black marker pen, and just dab it on first before we come to the final sanding. So I'll crack on with this, get this all covered over, and then we'll have a look at the end. Right, let's get this bad boy sanded down. We're on the last stretch now. If you're still watching, well done. I like your stamina. I'm just going to use a basic hand sander. Don't ask me what sand grain it is, whatever. We're not bothered about that, it does the job. I'll do a little bit again because the noise is going to be horrendous. And then we'll come in at the end, excuse me, and sort it out. So off we go then, let's get this bad boy sanded out. Okay, that's about finished now, so we'll give it a brush down and see what's what, shall we? I would normally take this outside, and yes, I do wear a mask, and yes, I have ear protectors on and all the rest of it. But for today, this little quick bit, I think we can manage with that, can't we? Get your brush and get right in there, because there'll be plenty of dust. What I'll do, I'll go a blower on this and give it a good clean out, and then we'll put a bit of linseed oil on, boiled linseed oil, and maybe a little spray of lacquer. But we're about done. I don't know if you can see, there wasn't really any bleeding into the wood. Get right in there, give it a good clean out, and we're ready for that last bit. Cool stuff. Okay, that's all the dust off, and all I'm going to do now is put on some boiled linseed oil. It just brings the grain out, makes it look a bit better. And don't be frightened to put it on, it's not going to bother you. Basically just put it on, like so. You can see there how it's changed. Now I might regret doing that because I actually prefer it white like that, but I've gone for it now, so I'll throw this on and then we'll come back. Okay, we've put the linseed oil on. That's nicely dried now. I still say this should have a red face, but I've not found the right colour red yet, so we'll leave it like that for now. I still think it's cool like that. Darth Maul from the Star Wars. Job done.